Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Today, we're going to have fun analyzing the supplement industry, the highs, the lows, and anything in between. My first guest was probably my first or second subscriber, probably 12 or 13 years ago. And we're glad to have him back again, Mr. Dave Cook. Dave, thank you so much for joining us.
You got it. Pleasure to be here, Sean.
First timer here coming from Kansas City. Again, sorry for your Chiefs. We have Justin joining us.
Appreciate you bringing me on.
PJ coming from his 20-degree basement. We appreciate you joining us, PJ.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
And surprisingly, we didn't scare you off a second time with some of Masha's commentary on the last podcast. Once again, Kaitlin Kenna Smith joining once again. Thank you.
Yeah, I that was a shocking thing, but here I am.
So, guys, let's start off with just a quick, easy lob here. We'll kind of go around. What was the first supplement you used? Let's get in the time machine. Let's go back. Justin, what was the first supplement you remember using?
Started off with an absolute banger, the original Jack 3D, the OG.
And do you miss the fact we don't have DMAA anymore?
I did for a while, but now that I'm a little bit more, I guess you can say, conservative with my supplementation, I think it was probably the right decision. But yeah, I probably went through about 20 tubs before I even bought a second supplement of anything. So,
did you go into morning when it was taken off the shelf?
Yeah, I mean, you could still get it for a little while. I think I stocked up with a half a dozen tubs to let me, last me a little while. But yeah, then it got pretty sad after that.
PJ, what about you?
Pre-workout wise, I'm going to agree with him. Jack 3D definitely kicked it off, but I remember the summer in 9th and 10th grade, my dad came home and he's like, "This is the time you need to work out." He came home with a huge tub of Optimum Nutrition protein and some random creatine, and it just kind of sent me down the rabbit hole from 9th to 10th grade. I remember coming back to school and everyone's like, "What'd you do?" I'm like, "I don't know. I ate a lot of pasta salad and took what my dad gave me."
And Dave, again, anything, whether pre-workout or not, what was the first thing you taken? Because I know you've been using it for a while too.
Yeah, the very first thing was, I remember it was just a black bottle of GNC's creatine monohydrate, and we didn't know what we were doing and when we were taking it or anything like that, but it was just a couple of my buddies and I thought that this is going to be the way to put on the muscle, and that's what we started with. But then it got into those, Jack 3D, NO Explode pre-workouts, all the stuff with the good goodies in it back in the day, and then it just went on from there. And now it's out of control, but
And Miss Kaitlin?
Well, back in my day, they told me that creatine was a steroid. So, as a female, I didn't want to get too bulky at the time. Haha. But I would say probably Optimum Nutrition Whey was probably my first thing. Similar to PJ, just get that big old tub. It's like, this looks tasty. And then it destroys my stomach, but that's fine.
So when you look at, if you can remember what it tasted like back then and all the proteins that you're doing now, do you see it? Do you remember how bad it really was now? Does it bring back the memories, Kaitlin?
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like almost every protein that I review now is just so tasty because I just compare it to that,
Yeah, and I think it's hard too, because with protein you want to look at macros, but flavor. How many different times can you say it tastes really good or mixes so well?
Yeah, that's why one of the things that I like to do with my reviews is I break down the formula and focus on those highlights, but I also focus on what does it taste like, not just is it good. That's why I never do number ratings. I always just try to explain to the consumer what they're getting.
Yep. So Dave, when you look at, I guess, what do you think is the current trend or the next big trend that we're seeing right now? It'll kind of go around the room a little bit.
That's a great question, Sean. It's so hard with the innovation because I think people are so handcuffed and so limited with what you can do. I mean, we've got some of these nutrition, or these ingredient suppliers that are coming out with some of these new things. You got like an NNB, and they come out with these different types of ingredients and trying to make a better ingredient. But, it's just maybe is the delivery method a little bit better, or you're absorbing it more than before. It's hard to say. I don't know that we're really seeing tons and tons of new things. I mean, I think things are just like, protein flavors are getting better. I mean, I
Hmm.
like Kaitlin said, I don't remember the last time that I've had something that really was like, awful. I mean, it's all getting better, and people are trying to push the envelopes with more caffeine and pre-workouts and stuff like that. So, I don't know that we're seeing a ton of new innovation, honestly, and that's maybe just the state that we're in at the moment.
PJ, what do you think? Do you think we're kind of stagnant a little bit, or like what are you seeing?
I agree with him with the innovation, but trend wise, like you roll through social media, maybe it's just my algorithm or not, but I think the creatine thing is like a hot item right now. Like they're just coming out with stuff left and right. And I was actually joking with someone the other day. I'm like, I guarantee you're going to see creatine pouches here soon, like the Zen pouches. I wouldn't doubt it if you see something like that come down the pipeline. It's like at the pinnacle of that. But I also start to see like people who don't need fat burners start using thermogenics now. Like that's a little bit on the
Hmm.
rise. And anything with pump in it, everybody wants to pump. Everybody wants that. I see both of those kind of like trending upwards, but I think creatine's like top right now. I mean, they're putting in what bars, drinks. I mean, you name it, it's going in everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, Justin, you've been in the industry for a little while. Do you think that for me, I think creatine kind of died a little bit, and all of a sudden we're seeing the resurgence. I don't know if it's just for the muscular I'll call it muscular properties, or the fact that we're now doing more research into the cognitive functions of it. So, Justin, what do you think?
I think a lot of it has to do with how the education is being portrayed. So, like, if you, I mean, I don't know who you guys follow, on different, industry heads or people in the health space, but everybody's talking about creatine, like everybody is. But the great thing is nobody is really talking about what, like what Kaitlin said with creatine being a steroid or it causing hair loss or kidneys shut down. People are saying 99.9% amazing things about creatine, and it's everybody. So I think it's just getting everybody hearing about it. And I think most of the younger crowd has always known that creatine's beneficial. But now we're seeing, people over the age of 50 and 60 that are seeing the brain health benefits, the general health benefits, cardiovascular health benefits. So now it's like people between the ages of 18 and 90 are investing in creatine. So I think it's just how it's being talked about. And then it's every age group is finding a reason to take it.
Has anybody on the panel brought that up to their parents? Has anybody said, "Dad, maybe you should be taking creatine"? Has it ever gone that far?
No,
Yeah.
not yet.
Caitlin, you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom came and visited me for Thanksgiving, and she's been very forgetful lately, and she's getting frustrated with herself. And I was like, "Hey, well, here you should take this creatine." So I sent her home with creatine. Now, whether or not she takes it, probably not,
Okay.
but she's aware of it.
Did you warn her? And I'm gonna date myself. But did you warn her that if she uses it consistently, might put on some weight?
I didn't because she probably doesn't even weigh herself.
Okay.
She's like such a tiny human. She probably doesn't even care.
Justin, did you say you did too? Have your family on it or anybody on it?
I was just kind of nodding my head. Now, my family's not big supplement users. They have a little bit, but yeah, the conversation probably needs to be had. I mean, I think it's at the point where, like I said, almost everybody should probably consider taking it. So,
Yeah, but I think the big problem is though too. There's so much data being put out on how much to take. I mean, I've seen people they say for cognitive health to take 15 grams, and for some that could be like detrimental on the gastric side, on the stomach side.
yeah, I mean, that's the 15 to 20 grams a day is what's being pushed right now. And I don't know. I don't necessarily know that you have to take that much. I think, if you're going to get to that point, then probably work your way up. Because, I mean, if you've never taken creatine before or any supplement for that matter, and you go straight to 20 grams of creatine, it's going to be a big old stomach ache if you can even keep it down. So I think starting with the 5 grams and kind of working your way up.
Yeah. Caitlin, I don't know if you've ever seen Eric Schwartz bring this up, or maybe Dave. I know you didn't know Eric Schwartz. When he was using it, he knew about loading back in the day because he's older like I am. So he didn't realize he took 20 grams in one scoop.
Hmm.
So needless to say, the outcome was not good for his day. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's funny. I think that with people who are going upwards of like 20 grams, one thing is like just what Justin said is like stair stepping up, not like going all in. But also, if you do have gastric problems and you still want to like reap the benefits of it, because there's a lot of research showing that it helps when you have sleep deprivation. Maybe not an everyday thing, but if you have sleep deprivation and helping under stress, is to space out those doses throughout the day. So maybe you're having 5 grams in the morning, 5 grams midday, so that it's not just an all-out dump on your gut all at once, because I know my gut would not handle that.
Yep. So, Dave, I'll put you on the spot here because you've been using supplements forever. Because I know you've been with me, my ride or die for a while. What made you finally decide to get in front of the camera and start reviewing? Because you were kind of behind the scenes for quite a while.
Yeah. So, one day it just like something just came to me like maybe I have something to share here. And I had always appreciated getting information from people that I viewed as good sources. And like when I was getting a lot of information, like someone that could just comes to mind is like Jim Stepani.
Hmm.
Like back when he was working for Muscle and Raw or whatever the magazines were, Flex Magazine, I used to read those magazines religiously and I picked up so much information from him. And so like the more that I just started to get into it and do it, I thought, you know what, maybe I'll just share this. And if it goes somewhere, maybe I can just keep going with this. And, I felt like I had something to say, and whether or not anybody listened, I don't know, but it just kind of took off from there. And I'm just having fun doing it, and I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be like the Mr. Know It All or anything like that because I don't know it all. I don't know hardly anything, but I just like to share what I do know.
Yep. PJ, what was your why in doing this?
Honestly, fitness has always been like a part of my life, but it went stagnant after I had my last kid. And I remember at the beginning of this year or last year, I got my first tub of Convict, sent me spiraling down the rabbit hole. And then I started grabbing a couple other things, and I'm like, how does this work? How does this work? And I'm like, you know what? I've always been knowledgeable about it. I'm like, let's start talking about it, and muscled my way through some horrific reviews, like Dave said. And the more I used, the more knowledgeable I got, and just kind of wanted to spread my experiences with everyone else. Mainly, it started off as looking at from like a consumer aspect. Like if you're going to go spend 60, 70, 80 bucks on something, like you should know about it. You know what I mean? Like money's tough to come by for some people, spread the knowledge that and let them make an informed decision. That's kind of like what my mindset was at the beginning.
Yeah, no, I can appreciate. And Justin, I know your I think your account is fairly new. What was your why with opening an account? And because I know you're very vocal and very honest and very you're trying to educate the masses.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been in front of people. I mean,
Yeah.
working directly with people, just kind of getting to the point, kind of like PJ and Dave said, that like you just kind of want to be a voice, a good voice in the industry, and I don't want to say that we lack information. I think there's an incredible amount of it, but there's not a whole lot of reviewers out there. There's not a lot of people that are doing this for being passionate about it. And after so many years of doing this, I mean that's kind of the point that I've gotten to is I want to reach more people. I haven't even really begun my content journey. And I'm in the very beginning stages of it, but it is something that I want to do. It's and spread the good word and just kind of be one of the good guys out there that somebody can reach out to and message and have an open conversation. And kind of like Dave said, not be a know-it-all, not feel like you have to inflict your opinions on anybody, but just be a source in this industry that, in my opinion, I mean, not lacks it, but not necessarily in abundance. This industry is going to double by the 2030s.
Yeah.
It's going to double. So what is that going to look like? And I want to be a part of it.
Kaitlin, getting back to trends, and I know you touched on it. We both touched on it behind the scenes here. This whole high protein or higher protein trend. Okay, I mean, are we getting a little absurd now with Goated just posted earlier Doritos, high protein Doritos. And then Kaitlin, you post at the Pop Tarts. The Pop Tarts they're 4 grams more than a typical Pop Tart. But are we like, is this just a passing fad, or are we like fully into the protein thing because of the GLPs? And if anybody,
I
open
think,
forum here.
yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the GLPs, and it's kind of like when low fat and low carb went through their era, and everything was low fat and everything was low carb or low sugar. Now everything's high protein, which I'm a fan of high protein because Americans need to eat more protein. But at this point, like if you're eating Doritos and it has 4-5 more grams of protein, you're still eating Doritos and you're probably over consuming Doritos because that amount of protein isn't going to help with satiation, and it's probably not going to help you hit your overall goal, because I'm sure a lot of people who are eating Doritos or Pop Tarts probably aren't really too invested in their health.
PJ, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I actually posted the protein Pop-Tart today on my story because I'm like, if you're going to eat a Pop-Tart, you might as well eat it. The only reason why I did the protein was I think it just tastes better. Like that's the only reason. But I think it's just a crazy fad right now. Like Atkins for a while. The low carb, the low fat stuff, that was a fad. They're riding high. Everyone's seen an opportunity to make a dollar with putting protein on the front, right? And they're just going after it. They don't care about the rest of the macros. If we put a little bit of extra protein in it, people are going to buy it.
Dave, you're probably the second oldest on the panel here. Do you remember Snackwells back in the late 90s?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Low fat cookies that were selling like crazy?
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like it's every decade it's a new trend. And I mean, I guess, does anybody put a bet now on what the next trend is? Is it going to be in the 30s?
I feel like we all go in circles. So it's like, what was a trend like 50 years ago is going to be a trend again in another 50,
Cyclical.
It's kind of like keto comes and then keto goes. And then, oh, look, keto's popular again. It's the same thing.
Let's see here. So do we feel that the barrier of entry, I think we'd all agree, and let's talk about this, the barrier of entry to make a supplement is too easy? I mean, is there anything we can do to stop this?
I mean, I agree that it is probably easy to get going because you don't even have to think of your own formula if you wanted to create something. I mean, there are, manufacturers that have these, white label products that you can just, you pay for a certain amount of lots and you're going to get them. And that's fine. This is America. If you want to try to make money, go ahead. But as many of these companies I think that are coming in, there's a lot that are coming out too that don't make it or realize how hard it is to really to do this. And I think of what I really like from the whole panel here is that if it's a garbage product, I don't think any of us are afraid to come out and say this is trash. Don't use this. And there are some really, really upper echelon companies that are doing it well. And there's a lot of these little startups, and they might be gone by the time this podcast is over. So I don't know.
Maybe I'm too picky because I actually go into people's websites, and I think, Justin, I shared this with you the other day, or I posted it, where it was the pre-workout. There was no ingredient panel, but the description was the shirt they were selling. How to wash the shirt and the quality of the shirt. Am I the only one that's like overlooking this, saying, okay, Sean, you're being too nitpicky? Because I know some people look at me like, dude, who cares? They made a mistake. But I'm like, if you're making a mistake that simple, what else are you making mistakes on?
And it's really common too. Like, I'll get brands reach out to me and they're like, hey, we want to send you some of our energy drinks to try. And I'm never going to say yes to somebody unless like I actually look at it and I think that it's a reputable product that's worth reviewing.
Yep.
And not like the last 2 times that's happened, I've looked at their website and there's literally no description, not even like a caffeine content. It's just like add to cart. So I have no idea what this is. Could you explain it to me?
Yeah, I know a lot of the companies that have the gray ingredients, the DMAAs and DMHAs, they don't put it on there. And I almost respect that, but it just seems laziness. Or they put up the pictures that aren't a good quality. How do you expect to make sales? And Justin, I'll flip to you because I know you probably look at a lot of websites for your, to educate yourself on what you do during your day. I mean, does that weigh on you at all? Whether there's misspellings or bad pictures or any of that stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to go against you with this. I don't see it a whole lot, luckily.
Okay.
I don't know that I investigate a lot of these new brands terribly often. I see a lot of them on social media. Supplements is the only thing that I know. So naturally, every single advertisement I get on my phone is supplements.
Yep.
And I would say 90% of them are brands I've never heard of. If you click on them, it's usually just a picture of the product and just buy it now. There's not a big description to it. So yeah, it's bothersome. But kind of like Dave said, I mean, like if you're not making a good product, it's not going to last. But you have every right to do it. But yeah, I don't see too many errors a lot. But then I posted that on my story the other day of, a product that initially you look at it and it's great. It's good formula, but the dosages are not listed in descending order.
Yes.
So, somebody called me out for posting that. And I was like, dang, you're right. If they're not, if they're not listing in descending order, if they miss that, which I believe is a legal requirement today, or to Sean's point, what else is this company missing?
Do you guys look at that, Dave? Do you analyze that? Do you get that granular when it's supposed to be? It's CFR, and I forget what the number is, 801 or something.
Yeah.
Justin, correct me. But descending order from heaviest weight to the lightest.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I'm OCD like that, and little things like that, like automatically now because I know kind of what I'm looking at and what I'm looking for. Stuff like that sticks out like a sore thumb to me. So if I like Justin was saying, if something's not in descending order or if, the numbers don't match up. Things like that do stick out to me. And I'm kind of nitpicky like that when I look at labels and things like that. So, I probably have a more watchful eye on that. And I probably care about it just like you, Sean. And a
Yeah.
lot of people probably have no idea what they're looking at, and that's fine. But, to me, it does stick out.
I stir the pot sometimes, and I'll put on their page that your label is out of compliance. Sometimes they delete it. Sometimes they'll DM me and be like, well, "What do you mean?" And I say, "Go look at the FDA site, look up CFR, and I'm not going to tell you how to do the business unless you want to hire me for a consultancy fee." So, I hate to say that, but Justin, PJ? Does it do anything for you? I mean, do you get that granular? I know you find
Yeah.
it kind of new to the situation with this, but
No, I'm big on anything in general, attention to detail. Like, I'll notice the smallest details. Like, sometimes I laugh and I'm like, I remind myself of watching Ridiculousness where he points out stuff in the background. I do the same thing. Like, if there's something small off, I'm like, what else is off? What else is different in this?
So, Kaitlin, what attracts you to a new brand, not a total new brand? Like, what would attract you to either reach out to buy the product? Like, maybe what are some of your criteria?
So number one would be transparency is like my biggest thing. So like if you're not transparent, you're not sharing everything, then it's not a no, but it's like a red flag in a sense. Because I know there are some great brands that don't necessarily break down everything, but if we're having like large proprietary blends, then that's an automatic no for me. And then I definitely look at like just branding and how they carry themselves as a brand, not just as a company, but how they are talking to their community and
Hmm.
how they're portraying themselves, not just like their products. Because I believe that good people will make a good product because they have the integrity about it.
Yep. PJ, what's your litmus?
Same thing, just what she just said. Customer service and the people behind the brand lately that I've been experiencing is they make good products. They take pride in what they're doing.
Yep.
And those are the kind of the brands that I like to, talk to and use their stuff. They actually make something good. They stand behind it versus, all the other stuff. Like you said, the gray labels, they don't seem to care. They just want to throw it out there and see who buys it. You know what I mean? I like the people who actually stand behind a product.
But Caitlin, to harp on transparency, I see the buzzword of transparency. Yes, our labels are transparent, but we've got 2 grams of citrulline and a thousand milligrams of beta alanine.
Mhm.
So it's like that fine line.
Yeah, 100%. So it comes down to that's like why I really take pride in what we do is because like we're here to educate people so that they can understand like this isn't a product that you should be buying if you want to invest your money properly and you
Yep.
want results from it. And it's something that like people just don't understand. So I think that that's what we love to do with our stuff, you know.
Here's for anybody that wants to grab this. So can someone explain to me what the term clean means? Everyone's using, oh, our product is clean, our protein's clean, our pre-workout's clean. I understand with pre-workouts, maybe there's no gray ingredients, but when people are using clean, does anybody have a definition of what clean is? Open floor if anybody wants to attempt it.
I'm going to jump on this one because people ask for this all the time. But to Sean, to your point, there is no real true definition. I ask people this: what is it they're looking for when they ask for clean? And I would say 3/4 of the time they don't know the answer to the question.
Okay.
I'm not saying that in a rude way; just they don't necessarily know. The times that I have gotten an answer, it's generally they don't want sucralose, no artificial sweeteners. A lot of times in pill products, they don't want to see magnesium stearate or silicone dioxide. Like the general, I mean, people are getting more educated on some of this stuff, and they know, they kind of equate these with being bad.
Yep.
And so it's generally, people want to see a very small other ingredients list. They don't want to see a bunch of not, what are the other inactive ingredients. They don't want to see that list very long. Generally, that's kind of the consensus. But then sometimes I'll hear, like clean active ingredients, and I'm not on the manufacturer side. I don't know what that means sometimes. It could be whole food based. They don't want synthetic, but that's usually 99% of the time what they're looking for.
Do you ever respectively push back when someone says, maybe I don't want stevia, I don't want sucralose? Do you ever push back and ask why?
Yeah. I mean, if you did, I mean, if you ever look up, just go to Google or YouTube and say, are artificial sweeteners bad? I think you'll get about 50-50 on
Yeah.
what people think. So I think there's just a level of confusion right now But people will always settle for safety and precaution, and they'll go for whatever is not getting bastardized the least. And it seems to be the natural sweeteners, allulose and stevia and monk fruit, are generally the ones that they go for, just because it's the lesser of the evil.
But I feel it's almost, what fear monger are you watching? And they always seem to leave out that, yes, sucralose is bad at 100 grams of dosage, or something ridiculous. They always seem to, we've talked about this, they always seem to leave out what the harmful dosage is.
Which is usually 100 times above what they put in the product. I mean, it's just an astronomical amount. I mean, aspartame is the one that people, I think, have harped on over the years the most. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that is the most researched sweetener out of all of them, proving safety. You don't see it in supplements often, but that is the one that seems to get the most attention. Sucralose is definitely a close number 2, but it's an astronomical dose. I mean, it would take so much of it to cause any problems. And not to keep rambling, but I had a conversation the other day, and someone who just kept claiming that sucralose raises their blood sugar, more than 50 grams of pure sugar from a soda.
Okay.
And it's just, not to just create like an argument here, but it's just something that this doesn't add up. That doesn't make any sense. There's no data behind that. So I don't know if people are just hearing things or if they're coming to their own conclusions. But I don't have any problem with any of them. I think it's whatever you want to choose. I've had stuff with sucralose that tastes amazing, and I've had stuff with monk fruit that tastes amazing, and the complete opposite for both. So just whatever you want, it's personal preference. Just don't push that on other people.
Yep. Yeah, other terms. So I'm going to go through terms here that try to be batty. We use science-based ingredients in our products. But again, going back to the 2 grams of citrulline, do you guys see this popping up a lot? Science-based ingredients is like the latest buzzword that I see. Dave, are you catching up on this, or?
I don't see that one as much, Sean, but I do see it from time to time, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Is anybody else seeing this? Is anybody else kind of, when you see, that's my trigger now. When I see that, now I really have to deep dive into the company.
How about doctor formulated?
Say again, Pete. Justin?
Ask him to prove it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
How about doctor formulated?
That's another one.
Yeah, I love those. And most of the time they're white labels.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So Dave, here's another question. You use a lot of pre-workouts. Okay. I know our flavoring system as a society has gotten better, but is it a hindrance if you still get a bad tasting pre-workout?
No. Like you said, listen, everybody wants to have a great tasting pre-workout or something that they look forward to consume. I think that that's part of the ritual. For me, it is. If I train first thing in the morning, I look forward to having my pre-workout. If it tastes great, that just makes it all the better. Okay. But, I'm the kind of person, and I think several other people here on this panel are as well, they're looking for the effects on things. You can sacrifice a little bit of taste for getting, the right amount of the ingredients, and it's going to give you an effective workout. Kaitlin's workouts are different than, say, PJ's and I workout. We work out in our basement. She works out in her garage, but she's doing, training to be a CrossFit athlete. I am not. I'm training to be a healthier dad, to just get the most out of my body and, just to be a good dad, just like, be there for my kids. So, I have different demands. Taste is just not one of them necessarily for pre-workouts for me.
How about you, PJ? You're a young guy, and I know taste seems to be very subjective with the younger audience.
50-50. I gear my stuff more towards the effects like Dave, but there has been times where I've used a product and I'm like, ugh, not today. Like just couldn't muscle it down. You know what I mean? So I think taste definitely is a big ordeal. Yeah. But more or less, I use stuff for the effects, just like Dave. I get up 3:00 in the morning. I know he's up. We start texting at 4:00 in the morning. Yeah. Him and I are texting back and forth because we're both up working out already. Like we're sending each other messages, doing the same thing. But yeah, it's more or less to get me up, get me moving, and get the effects out of it. Me personally, but I think as a broader spectrum, flavor is like number one to society. You know what I mean? Like that's what they're looking for. They want something that tastes good.
Yeah, and I feel sometimes people put that first and formula secondary. And I'm not trying to be this old hat here, but that's another thing too. Half these new brands, you see them giving out samples at the gym and they're videotaping it. This tastes amazing. Well, great. How about do the video if you have your workout, and then we'll talk about it.
Right. Yep.
So, but guys, what questions do we? I'm going through questions here. What questions? I know Justin, you had a lot too. If you want to throw anything out here, it's as I say, it's everyone's podcast.
Well, I think I had one that was just one that's asked, like, and I kind of pointed out earlier that there's some estimation that by like the early 2030s, this industry is going to be double the value that it is today, which is crazy to think about, like how massive it is right now. But to think it's going to double in 10 years, well, we're all going to be around the industry in 10 years, I hope. I just want to know what everybody's goals is. Like where do you see yourself in 10 years? Not to make this an interview question, but like, where do you guys, do we, and for yourself, and then do you feel like, we need more of us content creators, educators? Like, what is it going to take to kind of keep up with the market value that's anticipated, to double in the early 2030s?
That's an interesting question. I feel the five of us have turned the corner. I said the four of us, not you, Justin. The four of us have turned the corner a little bit, starting with Kaitlin's supplement court, which is brilliant. And we're kind of, yes, we're trashing some of the brands a little bit, but if anything, I think we're just trying to educate. That's why I started this platform 13 years ago, to really educate people. If I can educate one person on making a better purchase or understanding the purchase they're making, then my job is done. In 10 years, I don't really want to tell you how old I will. I'll tell you offline here. I don't know if I'll be podcasting in 10 years, but that was my goal, and I continue to grow that way. That's me. I love to just educate as well as learn and make new friends in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. My mission has always been to help people navigate the BS of the industry,
Yep.
right? So there's so much of it between marketing and between all of these different brands that are popping up. And there are so many people who are willing to invest in supplements before they're even willing to invest in changing their habits, which we won't even get into. But I want to be somebody who can help educate, but also entertain people. Like a lot of my energy drink reviews, they're not super educational, but they're entertaining. So my hope is, hey, you come across my video and maybe it helps you detach from your stressful life for a minute or two,
Yep. Dave or PJ?
I do the same thing with the entertainment with my kids and my wife. But yeah, same idea. I mean, like I said earlier, if people are going to go out and spend money on stuff, I've bought and wasted a ton of money on products over the years, and you just look at it and you're like, well, I have it. I guess I have to use it. And it's just like, it's a waste. You know what I mean? It's like, that was kind of my initial thing, was like, push that on everyone else in the world, like make an educational decision. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But personal goal wise, I think I had it on my Instagram for a while, was to always stay a step ahead of my kids. So that's why we're down here 6-7 days a week.
Oh my goodness. Dave, you want to comment or?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I don't think I'm going to be doing this in 10 years. And I hope, honestly, that I'm not. But for the time that I am doing it, I'm hoping like I can, even like you guys have just said, even if it just impacts one person, or if I just make an impression on my kids to have them lead a better life, then that's all I needed to have done. I'm not in this to make money. I make no money doing this. This is just my passion coming out. And again, if I help somebody, awesome, because I've appreciated help along the way. And I couldn't have done it without other people. And so if somebody ever thinks of me and says, man, I learned something from Dave today, or I chose this over another terrible option, or I made a healthier choice today, mission accomplished.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Kaitlin, so I'll consider you the energy drink queen. Okay, and we'll open this to everybody else. You do a lot of reviews. Some of the products are transparent, and a lot of the energy drinks, let's face it, I think it sways more that they are not. Does that weigh anything on you? Does that mean anything to you, whether they're transparent or not? Because I think most people expect, give me caffeine, give me flavor, and I'm good.
Yeah. So personally, I always reach, if I'm drinking it for my own pleasure, I'm reaching for something transparent, just because I like to know what's going into my body. I'm a sensitive flower and I like to know what's going in. But I'm also, that's what I like to preach to people, is like the importance of transparency. But at the end of the day, I know that a lot of people aren't, we're not going to try to persuade somebody who's been drinking Monsters their whole life to start drinking a Gorilla Mind or a Ghost, because it's just, they're there for the vibes. But I think they know that at that point. So I think people what I want to do is I want to help educate people on how to maybe read an energy drink label properly. But at the end of the day, like they're going to drink what they want to drink.
So what if you had to pick one flavor? I don't know if you want to share the brand too, but if you had to pick one flavor that you could only drink the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ghost raspberry cream. R.I.P. I drank my last one yesterday.
I still haven't had that yet. I don't think I ever had it. No, I haven't.
3D cucumber melon is up there too.
That is one of my favorite because it's just so unique. I haven't had it yet. I mean, I haven't had anything close to it or a flavor like that.
Yeah, no, it's its own thing, and I love that.
Have you taken inventory of how much like money you have in that refrigerator?
No, I haven't, and I probably will not be doing that anytime soon. I'd like to not know.
PJ, are you an energy drinker? Energy drink drinker.
Yeah. I just did one of that strawberry shot Monster, and I mentioned that I grew up on the OG sugared Monster, so that's kind of like nostalgic to me. Like that's it. Every time it hits my lips, I'm like, there it is. So like I might be an oddball here with that one, but I grew up on the OG Monsters, the Rock Stars, all the old school ones. So yeah, fortunately 1 or 2 a day probably. I do it more or less for flavor and to get through the day, busy day.
Dave, I know you generally don't do energy drinks. I don't think I've ever seen you doing it because you do pre-workouts. That's your energy drink.
That is the only caffeine that I will have during the day is my pre-workout. So I've limited myself. I'm kind of like Ari in that regard, Sarah. So I might be shunned and I might be, kicked off this podcast here for not, being one of the group. But yeah, I don't do the energy drinks.
No, but I'm the exact opposite. I don't do caffeinated pre-workouts. Like my pre-workout is electrolytes and carbs. If I need carbs for the session, kind of just depends what I'm doing.
Here's something I'll ask you, Kaitlin, because you love your energy drinks, but when you're doing your taste testings, I mean, I've seen 2-3 cans at a time, and I think the other day with your husband, you had 4. Was it 4 blindfolded?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember.
Okay, so you're throwing so much away.
No. I'm not throwing them all away. The disgusting ones that don't deserve light, they get down the sink. But my husband will drink an energy drink if I put it in the fridge for tomorrow. He drinks like 3 a day. He says he doesn't have a problem. I drink 1 a day. He has the problem.
But he'll drink them flat. If they go in the refrigerator overnight, he'll drink them flat.
He's a man. He'll do whatever. Sorry, guys.
I do it. I did it yesterday.
First,
Justin, you sipping on a Gorilla Mind. Is that your main brand? Or again, what do you stand on the transparency versus non with energy drinks?
Energy drinks is probably the one area that I don't really care too much with because it's just one solution. It's just to taste good and have, energy to it. And I am the absolute pickiest person when it comes to energy drinks. Like 99% of the time I have an Arctic White Gorilla Mine. I grew up on the white Monsters, the white Rock Stars. For some reason, that flavor is what I like. I don't like super sweet stuff. So, all the super sweet drinks that are coming out, it's just too much. I just want something that's going to be as boring as bland possible. But I will give a big shout out to Bum Root Beer and the Bum Watermelon. If you haven't had those are insane.
So good.
Holy cow. So
I actually took advantage of the dollar deals at one of the stores and picked up a bunch of they're not Arnold Palmer's, but the lemonade iced tea, which I thought was very good. Just unique that way.
Yeah, Bum's good. I like their formula too because it's not just like too much caffeine, because as I do like energy drinks, if it's more than 200 milligrams, I'm bypassing it because I will shake like crazy.
Can anybody explain to me that Red Bull is the #1 selling energy drink? Okay, PJ knows where I'm going with this, but their flavors have not evolved. I mean, I guess I had a watermelon the other day, was pretty good, but in today's flavor society, how are they still beating the C4s and the Gorillas and the 3Ds? Anybody anyone?
Money.
Yeah,
they have a lot of money.
They sponsor a lot in the world. But me coming from a small town, I see a lot of like local people reaching for like the old school stuff like me. It's the Red Bulls, the Monsters, I see a lot of that in rural areas because I live up, upstate New York, and it's very rural. And they go to the local gas station. That's what they grab for. They're familiar with, they know it. And it's not that, it's a coffee.
Yeah.
Are they the only ones that have advertised on TV?
The Olympics all over.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never seen another energy drink brand on TV.
It's actually a good point.
I've seen Rockstar on, I think, some of the motocross, But I did ask my 18-year-old son this the other day about Red Bull. What I'm asking you guys, and he said, "Dad, watch the snowboarding, watch the skiing. It's Red Bull all over." So that's what's driving. They've got multi billions of dollars going into advertising, but I don't know.
Like even like as a CrossFit athlete, like in the space, there are multiple CrossFit athletes who go to the games who are sponsored by Red Bull, and I think that's just so very random. But they they do a really good job at marketing their energy drink, and like PJ said, when it comes to energy drinks, people fall in love with what they love, and they're not really gonna veer away from it unless it's something really good.
Caitlin, would you compromise your integrity if Red Bull came to you tomorrow and said, "Look, we want to sponsor you for one of your next games," and through just a random number, 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, would you compromise your ethics?
No, that would be so bad. People would know.
So
I
just
like Celsius coming to me and offering a sponsorship.
I'm one of the few, and anybody else chime in. I actually enjoy some of the Celsiuses. I actually like the cherry cola, and I think the cola itself is good.
That's the only good one that I've had.
Okay. So Dave, Justin sent me this question, so I'll ask on behalf of him. What amount of money would it take for you to promote a? He used the word shitty brand or product.
Well, morally, I can't do that. So
But
I
you're
don't
married.
know.
Your wife would have your wife would have a comment like mine would.
I don't know. I don't think that I could ever sell out myself for promoting stuff. I mean, again, I don't make a dime doing this anyway, so I don't. Maybe I'm stupid and maybe I'm naive, but I don't know. That's
Everybody has a number. Come on.
Ah.
Dave, I'm sure you still have a mortgage on your house. I can assume maybe. And if they
of
came to
course,
you and
yeah.
they said, "Look, your mortgage would be paid off with whatever number,"
Well, maybe we can come to the table and we can talk then. Massachusetts is not a cheap state to live in, so sure, let's have that conversation.
PJ, what about you? I mean, you seem to do reviews of brands that you like. I mean, obviously, aside from knocking the other ones, but would there be any amount of money if somebody came with you with a prop blend that tasted like gasoline?
No, my morals and values, I hold them higher than anything else in my life. I would never promote anything. I mean, if it's good, it's good. I'll talk about it. But if 90% of their stuff is garbage, I'm not gonna promote anything like that. That's just me. Being truthful and honest. At the end of the day, I couldn't do it.
So your wife wouldn't hit you over the head with a flip flop saying, "Honey, we could have just bought the second home or whatever."
No, I'd tell her to do the video.
Oh my goodness. So Dave, PJ, Caitlin, any questions for each other here?
Actually, I have a question for Caitlin. Are
Yeah.
you doing any kind of official competition coming up soon? Because I know you're training every day for something, here. But do you have one that's on the calendar?
The CrossFit Open starts on the 26th. So if you're not familiar with the CrossFit Open, it's 4 weeks of a workout is released each week, and it's like the first stage to the games. So after the Open, there's quarterfinals, then semifinals, then the games. So right now, my goal is to get into quarterfinals and finish at a good spot, and then next year get into semis.
Awesome.
Educate the uneducated, i.e., me, Caitlin. I watch CrossFit, but I don't know the granularity of it. Is it weight classes? Is it height? Like, how does it work?
It's basically age in a sense, but everybody. So like, there's the teen division, then there's just like the open division, which is basically everybody up until over 35. Then
Okay.
over 35, it starts breaking down into like older categories, we'll call it.
So you could go against someone that's your own age, be 6 inches taller and 30 pounds more muscular, and go up
Correct.
against them.
This is why I'm trying to get a little bigger because I'm 5'6", 125 pounds, and that's not that heavy.
Sounds like you need to start doing 20 grams of creatine a day.
I'm eating a lot of food. I'm trying.
Oh my. PJ, Justin, what questions do you have, or maybe that I missed?
I don't know. Do we want to go over everybody's supplement stack or top 5 favorites that they always take? I mean,
Yeah,
kind
no,
of.
that's a good one. Maybe what's a top 5 staple, regardless? What you supplement, whether it's a vitamin, a mineral. I mean, what do you see yourself gravitating to all the time, Dave? What's a staple every day you have to take?
So for me, it's creatine. I use whey protein powder because that helps me just to hit my goals every day. Probably like a fish oil, like a vitamin D3, K2, I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, like if I really, really had to boil it down to the essentials, that's what I would do. The rest
Okay.
I could just get by on nothing else. But
Yep. DJ, what are you grabbing every day like clockwork?
I got same thing, handful of pills, like your fish oil, your multivitamins, stuff like that, zinc, magnesium, D3, the whey protein, creatine definitely, not 20 grams, but maybe 10 to 15 depending on the day throughout the day, and then whatever pre-workout I'm feeling. But I dive a little bit deeper into food, like nutrition. I make sure I get like berries, greens in. A certain amount of, like, I don't track because I've been doing it so long, so I kind of know, but I definitely hone in on certain foods every single day.
Okay. Yeah, and you keep very lean, so obviously you eat well, you train hard.
Try to.
Yeah, you and Dave, you have the young kids. You're still chasing around. Mine are older, so I don't need to chase them anymore.
I don't need them chasing me.
Justin, what's in your cabinet? I'm sure it's probably very robust, but what are your staples?
I mean, kind of the same as anybody. The essentials. I mean, you got your vitamin D3, K2. I'm big into minerals, so everybody talks about multivitamins. Like I'm definitely a big mineral person. I mean, magnesium glycinate's been like one of the most revolutionary supplements for me,
Yep.
just to help relax and calm down in the evening. Really, anything like anti-stress, kind of to help you calm down. I love. So kind of some obscure ones. Like I love Sam E. It's a
Oh wow.
not as common supplement, but I respond insane to it. I love it. The number one reason I love Gorilla Mind drinks is the saffron, and I've
Mm-hmm.
taken saffron individually. I love that stuff. I've tried a little bit of like the ashwagandha, GABA, L-theanine, those kind of things. It's anything to kind of help wind down at the end of the day. I'm very high functioning,
Okay.
so lithium orotate. I'll give a big one to that. If you haven't heard of it, it's phenomenal for just kind of lowering neurotransmitters and just almost deregulating you at the end of the day. So anything like that is really what I love. And then of course, your pre-workouts, creatine, sport nutrition stuff.
Did you say lithium?
Lithium orotate, yeah.
It's an over the counter?
Well, yes. So lithium is a drug that you would take. It's an I think it's an
Yeah.
depressant. But you can get lithium orotate over the counter. It's completely legal, but it's a very, very small dose compared to what you would get in the pharmaceutical. But yeah, it's basically supposed to deregulate like dopamine,
Okay.
adrenaline, and just kind of almost just bring you down a little bit at the end of the day. And I can't remember who it was, but I watched some random YouTube video, and he was hyping it up and saying that nowadays everybody's so high functioning and they're so uppity and going, and our dopamine and adrenaline gets raised up during the day. Sleep has become a huge issue,
Yes.
and anxiety and stress at the end of the day has become a huge issue. And I was like, that makes perfect sense, and tried it out, and it was a miracle for me.
So it's legal. Let's just state that it's legal, but you have to go to. Is it like behind the counter at CVS, or is it like regular on the shelves at any vitamin
You
store?
can get it on the shelf. I believe it's lithium oratate's the only form that you can get as a supplement.
Okay.
I've looked this up. I should know, but it's the type that it is, and then obviously the dosing. But I think they usually come in like 5 milligram pills, so it's not super high. I think they give like 300 milligrams, in the pharmaceutical world. So it's a dramatic difference. So
do you take this before bed, or do you take it like after dinner, like when you're watching TV and kind of decompressing?
later in the evening? I mean, it doesn't just put you to sleep, but if you're about to get off work or you want to kind of relax for the evening, it just kind of helps take you down and just not feel like you're going to struggle to fall asleep or have to take a sleep aid. It just brings you down a little bit, and without making you feel awful.
Now, someone's going to hear this and come out with a sleep time formula with melatonin, GABA, and this as well.
I've yet to see this in a sleep aid formula. It's weird. I've yet to see it in any kind of anti-anxiety, stress sleep formula. I don't really know why. I just assume it's not very well known.
So, Kaitlin, your top 5, we know 1 through 4 is an energy drink, but maybe what's your number 5? Seriously, though.
So as far as my supplement stack goes, it's very similar to everybody else's. Like, the basics: creatine, vitamin D with K2, fish oil, multivitamin. I love L-theanine at night. I'm also looking into more anxiety helping and sleep helping. So that's I'm taking notes from you. Whey protein, of course, and electrolytes is big for me because of my training.
Mm-hmm.
So, and intra-workout carbs, depending on how long my session is. So,
I always ask Kaitlin, does anybody else do ice baths, or is she the only crazy one on the podcast here?
Well, I think
Silence.
everybody needs to do one now.
Hard negative. I hate the cold.
So do I.
Move out of New York.
But Kayla, you do it first thing in the morning, right? Not after your workout.
No, I do them at night. I used to do them in the morning, but then I found that it actually helps me relax at night.
Because it drops your body temperature probably like 4 degrees.
Yeah, it feels good.
So I'm also hearing like a lot of people. I hear Kayla said a multivitamin, but I'm hearing more individual minerals and vitamins. And Justin and I talked about this. Do people take multivitamins, or are you kind of doing more of the one-offs, the standalones? Like I use zinc and I use selenium and I use magnesium myself and potassium, but I like to just dose it myself just instead of buying a whole vitamin, multivitamin.
I think in some ways it comes down to the cost. I mean, if you buy every single vitamin and mineral
Sure.
separately, I mean, the cost is going to be outrageous. I think most people would probably turn away from it. But yeah, I mean, there are some minerals that you shouldn't take with others. I mean, I know that zinc interacts with a lot of things, but then you got to take calcium and magnesium and vitamin D together, but then you have to take vitamin K with vitamin D so it doesn't cause calcification. And there's all these little rules, and it can get kind of confusing. It can go against the idea of a multivitamin or a multimineral. Um, Personally, I like the idea of a good multivitamin. Just pop it in the morning, and then certain minerals that you would need throughout the day. Like I think guys should probably look at the zinc or ZMA. Definitely take a magnesium later. Iodine can be useful for thyroid issues. A lot of these are not essential for everybody, but if you know your body, know your blood work, whatever, then you can kind of pick and choose what you want. But
Yep.
I think if you don't know, I mean, if you have no idea, you don't plan on knowing, a good multivitamin or a good multivitamin, then actually add on a multimineral supplement
Hmm.
is probably a beneficial thing. A lot of multivitamins don't have high doses of minerals. And nowadays we're not getting a lot of minerals in our food. So I think people
Yep.
forget about minerals, but
And for me, I think it's hard sometimes finding. It's just a handful of brands that will actually have a full, very full, well-rounded multivitamin. Like you might see one, it's good, 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 and then oxide, 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 and it's like you just ruined it.
What do you use, Sean?
Well, no, so I don't use a multivitamin now, but
Mm.
I use magnesium glycinate, I use zinc, potassium. I have, like you guys, I use fish oil. I use a joint formula because us old folk got to keep limber. So
I've kind of found that a lot of the high end brands, or the brands that we associate with being inherently good, typically use the best doses of it, or the best kinds of vitamins and minerals. I found that correlation.
yep.
I think a lot of the more mainstream ones, maybe grocery store brands, the cheaper ones, you won't. But most good brands actually do a pretty good job when they decide to make a multivitamin.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself selling more multivitamins, Justin, or like more like one-offs or solo ingredients when people come and talk with you, or is it kind of a mixed brand?
Probably half and half. I mean,
Okay.
vitamin D is huge right now.
Yep.
Magnesium glycinate, huge. I mean, those are definitely the two individual ones that are stand out. But yeah, there's a lot of multivitamins. I mean, that's always, I don't know, it's never going to go away. People are never going to stop wanting them. But yeah, definitely see more individual, solutions now, and people wanting individuals.
I feel glycinate has taken like all of a sudden an upswing. Like people always knew about magnesium, but I feel that that's been more talked about over the last year or two, maybe than anything else.
The L-threonate too.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
point. Good point. But guys, as we wind down, and anything else? I mean, I've enjoyed the conversation. Anybody have any last minute questions as we wind down?
I got one for Justin going off of the multivitamins. How many people come in and buy the Yield Animal Pack? If you remember those.
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I wonder how that brand has made it. They haven't really changed at all. I mean, I give huge props to them. Like they changed their branding a little bit. For the most part, they have just stood their ground and they're doing it. And 40 to 50-year-old dudes still come in for it. I mean, I don't know that's ever going to change. I mean, they're one of the only ones that does what they do. Other people have tried the packs and kind of failed, but Animal Pack is a tried and true.
30 years ago, I think they were ahead of the curve. Like they were ahead of themselves
Sure.
and they did well. But now, fast forward now, they're making little tweaks. But I think, yes, they're still living in the past with what did well with them or for them. I used to flex myself. I'm not going to lie. I used to flex myself on occasion, or whatever the brand is. Oh, not brand, whatever the product is for flexibility and joint health.
Mhm.
So
Take a
anyway,
handful of 22 pills.
yeah, exactly. I get a meal out of it too. So, but everybody, it's truly been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I know we share so many DMs daily. It's nice to finally see everybody together. As we wind down, Dave, share your Instagram. We'll kind of go around the room and have people where people can follow you and learn more from all our education.
Sure. My Instagram is cook.dave10.
And PJ,
Fit Dad Life 1.
Fit Dad. Okay, it sounded like something else for a minute there. Fit Dad. Okay,
Fit Dad Life 1. Yep.
and Miss Kaitlin.
Kaitlin Kenna Fitness.
And Kaitlin, once again, plug the podcast because you're a very successful podcaster in my mind.
Yeah, the Powerhouse Mentality podcast.
Anything new coming up? Anything in the hopper coming out?
I mean, I put out an episode a week. I got an episode coming out on Monday with one of my good friends who's another coach, and we're just talking about ways to measure progress. And then me and my friend Sean are doing, not you, Sean, the guy who spells his name incorrectly, according to you. We're putting out some Powerhouse Journal podcasts every couple weeks. So that'll just be like breaking down what's new in the industry and et cetera, so forth.
Love it. And Justin, we'll save the best for last.
Yeah, well, I don't got much there, but you can give me a follow for future content. But right now it's supplement_smarter.
It's slow and steady. Get slow and steady. That's all I got to say.
Got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's watching. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time and your effort. Comment below. Let us know what you think. If we should do these more often. If there's any topics that you want us to address. And as always, guys, thank you so much and have a good night.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.